Hi people and welcome to our latest blog. This blog is all about trying to keep control of a crowd when they are a lively bunch. We've all been there, and I know for most this will be teaching grandma to suck eggs, but I just thought if I could throw a few things out there to you that might just help you to help control your crowd when they're lively, off the wall, just needing some extra encouragement to sit down. So I would say the first thing is that I think probably this starts as soon as you arrive. The birthday child is key. So if you can get the birthday child to be the kind of person that uh, the best person that they can be in this situation, they might not be the perfect child. It might not be that you can get them to be uh, the ideal birthday child. But as the children begin to arrive, they will begin to take the birthday child's lead. So if that birthday child is off the wall, then as child one arrives, they're all going to take his lead or her lead and be off the wall as well. So you need to get the best birthday child in the best possible place. And I will use anything to make sure that, if the party starts at 3 o'clock and at 5 to 3, this child's off the wall, I will use everything to try and get that child to be in the best possible situation. I'll even say to them that you do need to calm down, otherwise your party's going to be rubbish. I wouldn't say that in earshot of the parents, but I would say that to the birthday child on a one-to-one level, just to calm them down and just make sure that they realise that they have got a role in this. Regardless of whether it's a lively bunch, there's a couple of things you should always do, as I'm sure you do. So just get everything in your favour. The more things you have in your favour, the better you are. So I always set up in the corner. I would never set up, if I was in a hall, I'd never set up along a side. It just means that you've got two exits for people to be able to come and get to you. I always go into the corner and block myself off on a diagonal. Makes more sense. Also, when you speak across a room, it's much easier to speak onto a shorter side than it is to a long side. So a diagonal is better than a very long side. With regards to acoustics, if there's a carpet or a mat, especially in a home, you can put that on the floor, and the children can sit on it as a designated area. It helps you to keep control of the children there. Balloons, obviously, they're a right old hassle. What I do is I don't take the balloons away at the beginning. I let the children bash the balloons about, and then when it's time to start the show with the bubbles and the music are finished, I then play the first game is, right, everybody grab a balloon and go and then put them behind this table or whatever, so I'm in control there as well. As the children come to sit down to watch the magic show, I would already know who the lively characters are, and I would just split them up. So you don't want Henry sitting next to George and their kind of cohorts. You want them at either end of the room, perhaps not either end of the room, but either end of the line. So I would sit my front row down, and I would have George at one end and Henry at the other. There's that old expression: "Keep your enemies close." So yeah, keep them in the front row close to you, but keep them wide apart from each other. And also start with those control lines early. Get those control lines in that you know are going to be working in your favour. Once you've got them sat down, that shape is so important. Once you've got them into the position where you've got them in beautiful lines all sat down, that not half helps with controlling the children. And keeping that in your favour the whole way through is the key to this. Don't go mucking up what you've created at the beginning by sitting them into a beautiful shape. So as children begin to arrive, don't make reference to anybody behind you, behind the children that might be coming in, because they'll turn around, they'll see them, they'll all be out, they'll be giving them hugs, all that kind of stuff. Just let them filter in from the back. Don't mention anybody coming in late or anything like that. And also, that bash Mr. Marvel on the head at the beginning, it is there for a reason. Use the controlling lines. They're all desperate to want to have a go, so use it to your advantage. And the best line I find in all this controlling lark is if George is being a bit too lively, I'll say, well, George, would you like to win a prize? To which he'll always say yes. And he said, okay, if you can be the best behaved person here, then you can win a prize. There isn't a prize. There never will be a prize. Just use it in your favour, and that'll do you a world of good. Now, there are a few kind of things that just will help you to, a few mechanical things within the show that will help you to keep better control. I'm not saying it's going to be a guarantee, but it will help you. So with Rocky the Raccoon, I don't know if you're the kind of person that throws Rocky into the audience. If you've got a lively audience, don't let Rocky go. Because if you throw Rocky into the audience, you know what's going to happen. It's going to become a rugby ball. There's going to be a scrum. They'll be flying all over the place. So if you are the kind of person that throws Rocky into the audience, I don't do it anymore, then don't do that. When you're doing Scamp the Dog, the key thing about Scamp the Dog in this situation is making sure that you're not away from the children for too long. So if you go and do Scamp, if you do the bit where he goes over the top of the Punch and Judy booth, all that kind of stuff, you're spending a long time away from the children, and it's not difficult for them just to stand up and then come round the back and come and find you. So I don't do that. When I've got a lively audience, I go straight in, or bang my head, and I'm out again really quickly with them on my arm. The amount of time actually away from them during that is very, very minimal. I've got him on, and I'm out the front, and I'm back out, making sure I've got eye contact with the children for as long as possible. Also, going that key thing about keeping that shape. When you're doing the balloon, I know it's a great bit when the balloon flies off into the audience when the dog lets go, but don't do it. If you've got a lively audience, don't let go of that balloon, because the minute you let go, it flies around the room. They all get up, and all that hard work that you've got putting them into a lovely form shape, where you've moulded them how you want them, you've lost it all, and you've got to start again. So yeah, don't let go of the balloon, and just cut that bit out. The washing machine trick. If you've got a lively birthday child, then don't choose a lively one to come and help. I mean, it almost goes without saying. Choose a milder child. If either of the children keep hitting you the first time they hit you, if they hit you because they're up the front and they're feeling a bit, they're over lively, I would just say to the child, and probably even if it was the birthday child, I said something like, would you like to help do the magic? Or do you want somebody else to come and do it instead? And then they get the idea. I said, well, you can't hit Mr. Marvel. That's not allowed. And put Mr. Marvel in the third person. Don't say me. Just say, you're not allowed to hit Mr. Marvel. Would you like to do the magic, or should we get somebody else to come and do it? And then they normally just stop. If they're lively, don't give them the socks to hold, because they'll just throw them into the audience, and that doesn't do you any favours, because again, they become like a rugby ball. So just put them over the top shelf. Don't even begin to get them to the children. Just put them on the top shelf until you're ready to put them back into the washing machine in a second. When you're explaining what's about to happen with the wishy-washy-woo, put your hand over the washing machine handle so that the child can't turn it. The girl can't turn it because she might be overly lively and wanting to do that. With the fluffy magic wand, when you give the fluffy magic wand to the boy, if he hits you with the magic wand, just swap roles. Just swap the boy and the girl over, and then she waves a magic wand and he turns the handle. I know he's doing all the work at that point, he's getting all the attention, but you're better off doing that. And all the way through, you can always use the bribe of a balloon for the person sitting the best. I often do that at the end of if they're very lively, at the end of the washing machine trick. I say I'm going to make a balloon for George, a balloon for Sally, and a balloon for person sitting the best. And you watch them move. They'll be soon sitting down. When it comes to the Punch and Judy show, that is clearly a time when you're away from the children, and there is an opportunity for them to get up. So put everything in your favour. I would always, the washing machine would be on the table at that point. I would then roll the table between my gap between my disco and my magic show. That means you cut yourself off completely from the children, and they can't get to you anyway, even if they wanted to. And I'd probably take the washing machine down and put it away just in case. After Judy exits, I would always stand up just to check they're all behaving themselves. If any of the children do stand up during the Punch and Judy show, I would say something like, "Oh, George, we're not allowed to stand up during the Punch and Judy, because if it falls over, all the children will get squashed." Now, at that point, when I'm saying those words, I would get the Punch and Judy booth, and I will actually tilt it forward, rock it forward, as if to say, look, it can fall over. And that really does you a favour with regards to that they think, oh, that could fall over. I'm not going to stand up anymore, and that does normally work. When you put the sausages over the top of the booth, don't put the sausages down very far. Just have one sausage or something like that showing. You haven't got to have them all showing at that point, because the further down they are, the more likely they are to think to themselves, I can go and get those sausages. So just perhaps one sausage, and I actually use my arm when Joey's up there. I'd actually use my forearm against the sausages, and then against the side of the playboard, the top shelf, to actually make sure that I'm clamping it. So even if one of the children did get up and get it, they wouldn't be able to pull it away. And then clearly, if they do get the sausages, you do need to stand up and not rip them on, but sort them out. And then the rabbit, if you're using a rabbit, keep the back of the rabbit to the children so they can't start kind of poking in the eyes and that kind of stuff. And then I guess the most important bit after you've done that is get back to that when they've gone to have their food. Get to the food table as soon as possible and control. Don't let them, because when once gets down, you have had it. And again, the line there is always, you do need to come and sit down because we're going to sing Happy Birthday in a minute and stuff like that. And if I'm out of earshot of a grown-up and I'm desperately needing it to control, I would say you do need to come down, because if you don't sing Happy Birthday, then you might not get a party bag. And that's always one where they will think, I'm not going to get a party bag, I better go and sit down. And then when you've got control, if your children are okay at the table or where they're eating their food, go away and prepare the disco room. So, put everything in your favour. Get all the balloons completely out of sight. Put all the cushions away. Anything that they could possibly use to distract them. Do everything in your favour to make sure that they are, you're going to get the best possible out of the disco. Well, I hope that's helpful. Sorry it's a bit long-winded, but that is some ideas for helping yourself when you've got very lively children.